Hello all, my name is Abdul Rahman and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to Machine Learning Project series. In this series, we are going to do a lot of machine learning projects like we are going to do the body segmentation project, breast cancer prediction. We are also going to do the car number plates detection, car detections. We are also going to do the face recognition and all of these kinds of projects in this series. So like this only, we are also going to do a lot of other projects. But in this video, I am going to do the project of car number plates detection using Python and OpenCV. If you don't know what is OpenCV, then OpenCV in Python is a library of Python bindings designed to solve the computer vision problems. So this is what OpenCV in Python. So this module I am going to use in this video, and with that I am also going to use the PyTesseract module. So it's actually a Tesseract, but we are calling it as PyTesseract because Py means Python. So Python Tesseract is an OCR tool for the Python that also serves as the wrapper for the Tesseract OCR engine. It can read and recognize text in the images and is commonly in Python OCR image to text use cases. This is what the PyTesseract. But we don't know what is OCR. OCR stands for optical character recognition. So we are going to do this project. So in a lot of videos I have used two IDEs. One is Jupyter Notebook and other is VS Code. But in this video I am going to use VS Code editor. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's open the VS Code. So it's going to open. But guys, I have already created a folder where I have stored some of the images. Like for example, we have the car1 image, car1.jpg we have, and then we have the car2.jpg and we have the car3.jpg in this folder. Now I have created a file named as numberplate.py. Okay, py means Python as I said you, so that's why we have to give .py. Now in this folder, first of all we have to install the number plate and all of the stuff like OpenCV on our computer. For doing that, let's type here something like in the terminal pip install OpenCV -python, and then I am going to enter this. Then it's showing me it's already requirement already satisfied. It's because it's already installed on my computer. Now we have to install the immutils pip install mutils. So I'm installing this immutils, but I'm going to talk about this immutils later on while doing this project because I have to explain that with a real example. So now I'm going to install the PyTesseract pip install PyTesseract, then it's going to install. Now this is PyTesseract, but it's actually Tesseract. So we have to also install the module and we have to also install the application. If I show you that from here, I'm going from the github.com, I'm going to install the Tesseract at the ubmanhim. So this link will be given in the description below, like github.com/ubmanhim. Tesseract/wiki will be given in the description below, so that from here you can download it easily. Now here Tesseract OCR, I have two options. One is 32-bit and 64-bit. I'm going to install the 64-bit. So it's going to take some time, but it is already installed on my computer. So we have the setup installer on my computer. So if you double click on this one, then it's going to install. I'm going to show that in the file explorer. I have already installed that. Now the Tesseract OCR, you have to double click, then you are going to get the language options. Whatever language you have, then you can choose it, and then you have to choose for the path where you want to save the app and then finish that app. Now I have already installed that on the application drive. If I open this one, then in the program files, here we have the Tesseract OCR. I'm going to open this. Then this is the file folder which I have saved here. Okay, now I don't want this to be here, so I'm just minimizing it because we need this later on. First of all, let's import here the OpenCV and do all of the stuff. Let's type here something like open import cv2. So we are going to import the OpenCV as cv2 because while installing the OpenCV, then it's going to call it as the OpenCV, but while importing, we should type something like import cv2, and then we have to import the immutils. Then I'm going to talk about the immutils after some time, but let's import PyTesseract. Then here I'm going to give something like PyTesseract.py again. and then I'm going to give something like treasure act cmd, and then it's going to be equal to r, something like this. Now in this case here we have this one, right? Now I'm going to add here the path. Now we will be asking which path, so you have to add here the path of the place from where what you have done is, like, while setting up in the downloads you have to double click on this one, then finish it off, right? I said you that. Then it's going to ask you a path, so you have to save that in a path, and then I have said that in this path here, and from this path there will be an application file that you have to choose, because we have to do that in the VS Code here. So that's why I am searching for that application file, exe file. Okay, now here I have the treasure act application, then this is going to be treasure act.exe. Okay, now you have to copy this path, and then you have to minimize, and in the VS Code I'm going to paste it. The program files x6086, and we have the treasure act OCR, and here in this place only treasure act dash OCR, or it's going to be exe. Okay, now below this one I am going to give something like image, because here I have these files like these images like car1.jpg and car2.jpg and car3.jpg. Now let's do that one. Let's create a something like a variable, and it's going to be equal to image dot cv, sorry, image equal to cv2 dot imred, and then in the brackets I'm going to give car1 dot jpg. So we have the image equal to cv2, and we are input using here the opencv, and imred means we are reading this one, and then we are calling this image car1.jpg, so we are reading this file, this image, and then below this one we have to give something like image is going to be equal to immutals, and then it's going to be dot resize. So what this immutals actually do is, so while running this one we are going to get some of the images like original image, gray image, and all of those kind of images. Then at that time I am going to get a window, and in that window we are going to get the images. So if we don't use it the immutals, then we can't resize that window. But if we are using the immutals, then we can resize it. That's what the use of immutals here. And then in the brackets image equal to, sorry, image comma the h width is equal to 500. Let's give something like this. And now I'm going to give cv2.imshow. Show means it's going to show the image right now, and then in the brackets I'm going to give something like original image. So we are giving it original image because I'm going to tell that why I have given something like this, but let's call this variable image, and then below this one I'm going to give something like cv2 dot wait key, and then so now you may be wondering that why I have written something like this. This is because I am saying that show the image cv2.image, we are calling the opencv, and then saying that show the image, and we have saved the image in the variable itself, so we are calling that variable as image. Now we have called that as variable as image right now, and then I am saying that original image means we are going to get a window as I said you. So while getting that window, for example, if I minimize, make this small, this VS Code window, now when I have resized this window, here I am getting something like number plate.py license plate detection here right now, right? So there also we are going to get the heading like original image. Okay, so that's why I have given something like original image. Now you may be wondering that why I have given wait key. This is because if I run it, I am going to show you that we are going to get the image of that car. You can see here we are getting the image, but if I press any key on my keyboard, like for example if I press the space bar, then the image has just closed. So we are saying that wait for the key, and then we are giving 0, which means that if he presses any key and then there should come another image if there is the code, but if it's not the code then the image should be closed. Okay, now here we have this one cv2.wait key 0 is there. Now let's give it as gray equal to cv2.color, or let's give something like cvt color, and then in the brackets I am going to give something like image comma cv2 image comma cv2 dot color, and it's going to bgr to gray, bgr to gray. Okay, and then beside this I'm going to give something like smooth. It's going to be equal to cv2 dot by lateral filter. Okay, and then in the brackets I'm going to give something like gray comma 11 17 17 11 17 comma 17 again. Now let's enter here smooth. We have the cv2 dot I am sure, and then in the brackets I'm going to give something like gray image, gray image. Now guys, you may be wondering why I have given you something like gray. This is because we can create just a gray image and then another gray image with a smooth image. Okay, but I don't want to do those things, so that's why I just wanted to create the smooth and gray image. That's why I'm giving something like this gray, and then beside this you have to give something like cv2 dot weight key and then 0. Now this is because, as I said you, when I press a key then it's going to open a new image. Like for example, if I run it right now, now we have this image. If I press any keyboard then a new image appeared. Now if I press any key on the keyboard then this is closed. Now we have the cv2.wait key for the gray image. Right now I have to give something like corner. It's going to be cv2.canny and then it's going to be gray, and this is going to be comma 170 comma 200, and this is cv2 dot I am sure, and then in the brackets I am going to give it like corner line. We will understand it after some time. Corner. Now beside this I am going to give something like cv2 dot weight key 0. Now if I run it again, it's going to come a window. Here we are getting the original image window, and then if I press it again we are getting the gray image window. If I press the key again, then I'm getting here the corner line window, and this is going to be the edges, so it's going to highlight the edges. We can also give here the corner line highlighted edges. Below this I'm going to give something like segmentation comma new, and it's going to be equal to cv2 dot find contours, and then in the brackets I'm going to give something like corner, and it's going to give something like copy. So I have created variable known as corner, right? Now I'm going to give something like corner dot copy. I'm going to copy this, and beside this I'm going to give cv2 dot a return list, and then beside this I'm going to give cv2 dot chain something like chain approx simple or none simple. Let's give it image 1 is going to be equal to image dot copy, and then in the brackets I'm going to give something like this. Now below this one cv2 dot draw contours, and then I'm going to give the image 1, okay, and then you have to give the segmentation, and then beside this you have to give it the -1, and beside this I'm going to give it 0 comma, and I'm going to give 0 comma 255. Okay, now -1 comma 02, and then I'm going to give here the 3. Now you may be wondering what is this, but here I have given something like image 1, okay, a new variable, and in that variable I have called this image, this variable, which is going to copy it, and then it's going to give something like cv2 dot draw contours image 1, we are calling it again, then you have the segmentation, we are calling it -1, and you have the 0 comma 0 comma 255, which means that 0 comma we have the color codes RGB, red blue green, something like this, right? So now it's going to be green or blue. Now this is going to be the bold. Now below this one you will be understanding right now cv2 dot weight key 0. Run it again, it's going to show me, but wait, I have done a mistake. Here I should give here comma, and at the end of it I have to give here something like cv2 dot I am sure, and in the brackets I have to give here something like the edge segmentation, okay, and it's going to be image 1. Okay, now it's going to work. Let's run it, but here we got one window, another window, which is this is original image, this is gray image. Now we have the highlighted edges, and then right now we have the edge segmentation. If I press the key again, then it's going to close all of them. Now, why I have given here 3? So the reason that I have given here 3 is if I give here 1 and run it again, then we are going to show here. You can see here lightly we are getting here the red, but it's not coming that in the bold. So that's why I have given here 3, because it should be highlighted in the red color. So to do 255 is the red color here. So we have to do something like that. Now guys, let's do the segmentation for just for the number plate itself. So from the time we were doing the segmentation for all of the cars, but now let's just do for the number plate itself. Now I'm going to give something here, something like segmentation. Then it's going to be equal to sorted. Okay, and then in the brackets I'm going to give here something like seg, comma, let's give here some space, and then I'm going to give here the key should be equal to cv2 dot counter area, area, and now I'm going to give you something like reverse equal to true. Okay, now what I've done here is from the time we're doing the contest for all of the edge segmentation, for all of the picture, for all of the image, but right now we are doing that from the reverse itself right now. Okay, now let's give you something like 30, and let's close it. Now below this one I'm going to give you something like number plate. Okay, and then it's going to be equal to none, and then here below this one I'm going to give something like image 2, and I'm going to create a new variable where I will be giving something like image1. Sorry, image is going to be dot copy again, and in the brackets I'm going to give something like cv2 dot draw contrast. Okay, and now in the brackets I'm going to give here something like image2 comma segmentation. Beside this I'm going to give the -1 comma, again in the brackets I'm going to use here the color codes 0 comma 255 comma 0, and here I have done the mistake of comma. Now here I have to give here the 3 again, because here we have to tell how much bold, how much thickness I want to give dotted lines. Now let's give you something like cv2 dot I am show, and then in the brackets I am going to give something like top 30 contours. Okay, and here I have done the mistake here, something like this, and here again I have to give it something like images. Now beside this I'm going to give it the image 2, and here I am getting some error around here, right here itself, because I didn't give the comma there. Now let's give it something like cv2 dot weight and 0 again. Now let's run it. It's going to take some time for running, but now let's press the space here. Now we got this original image. Now let's press space again, now again, and here we are getting the edge segmentation. If I press it again, then we are going to get something like this in the green color, because I don't want to do that in the red color. Okay, now if I press space, then all of them are going to close here right now. Now below this cv2 weight key I am going to give something like count, and it's going to be equal to none, or let's give it the 0, and below this one I am going to give the name is equal to 1, and below this one I'm going to give for I in segmentation, and below this I'm going to give the perimeter perimeter, and it's going to be equal to cv2 dot arc length, and in the brackets I'm going to give I comma true, and here below this one approx is going to be equal to cv2 dot approx polydp, something like this, and then again in the brackets I'm going to give I comma 0.2, we are multiplying it here 0.2, or let's give 0.02 into perimeter. Then here I have to give you something like true, this true. Now here we have done here something like perimeter here also PERI. Now it's going to work here, we have the true at the end. Now below this one I am going to add here if statements, and then if it's going to be the length, and then approx, and beside the approx we have the semicolon, we should have the semicolon, but here we have done here the mistake, and it should be double equal to 4, And now at the end, sorry, below this one, I'm going to add the number plate, no plate, and it's going to be equal to approx, equal to app approx. And then below this one, I'm going to give here something like x comma y comma x comma y comma w comma h, something like this, and it's going to be equal to cv2 dot bo bounding rectangle I. Now below this we have to give it something like crop image, but I'm going to give you the crp image. Okay, and then it's going to be equal to image again, and it's going to be something like y, and it's going to be the y is to y plus h, and comma it's going to be x is to x plus w, x is to x plus w, something like this, right? Okay, now I am going to tell you that why I have given here something like this. Here we are writing here the parameters, right? So now we have the cv2 dot I am right, then it's going to write something like str, and we have calling it as the name is equal to 1, right? Now beside the name plus 1. Okay, now name plus we are going to add the dot png. Okay, and now we are going to add here the crp image. Okay, now below this one we are going to give something like name equal to plus or equal to 1, and below this one again we have to break here, break. Now you may be wondering that why what I am doing here. The thing that I am doing here is, from the time I was just doing the edge segmentation for the number plate, but now what I have done is I am just taking out that part picture. Okay, just number plate image, and then we are going to show that here. So instead of top 30 counters, let's remove this one and let's give the number plate segment and mention. Okay, so here also I have done the error mistake, spelling mistake, segmentation. Okay, now this is fine here, number plate segmentation. Now let's come to the bottom page. Here we have the break, right? Now below this break, what I am doing is I am giving here something like cv2, or let's give here something like again cv2 dot, we have to give it the draw counters, and then in the brackets I am going to give it the image, and it should not be equal to, okay, and it's going to give something like number plate. For the number plate I am going to give number plate, and then beside the number plate I should give here something like -1 comma the number like 255, 0 comma 255 comma 0 again. Okay, now we have to give here the highlighted. Okay, so we have to give here the number, so let's give the 3. So we should find the thickness, right? So that's why we have given it. Now cv2 dot I am show, and in the brackets I am going to show the final image. Okay, and then beside this I'm going to give you something like image, and at the end I'm going to give cv2 dot weight key, and then I'm going to give here the 0 itself. Now below this one I am going to give here something like crp image, crop image, something like that. But here what I have done is I have done a mistake. It should be okay here. Now we have to give something like crp image, and it should be img, a new variable. Okay, it should be equal to 1.png. Okay, below this one I am going to give here something like cv2 dot I am show, and then I am going to give here something like number plate image, number plate. Let's give here number plate itself, and then beside this one we are going to give the cv2 dot I am red. Now let's give here the crp img. I should give, I have done here the mistake here. Now below this one I am going to give cv2 dot weight key, cv2 dot weight key, and then in the bracket 0. Now I am going to run it, and the file is going to save, the image is going to save in the folder itself. Now we got our first original image, second is this gray image. If I press again, this is the highlighted edges, If I press again, we are getting the edge segmentation here. If I press again, we are getting just number plate segmentation. If I press again, I am getting the final image. Okay. Now, if I press it again, then we are getting a small image, which is going to be something like this, right? For example, if I minimize it, so the number is 16 AAK 378 and the number is also same. So this is how this is going to work. So this is the final thing that I have done here right now. So that's why I have given here the number plate. But if I open my folders in the code machine learning project here, then I saved here something. If I show you here, I have the number plate image, right? So this is also going to save in the folders and files, and then this is also going to show us. Anyhow guys, that's all for this video. So this is what the project of car number plates detection using OpenCV and Python. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked this video, enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any questions, please post that in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you in next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye.